Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to hold it up here just to make sure you can all hear us. Good afternoon, everybody. I tell you, this is an unbelievably exciting day. It's a gorgeous day. God has blessed us with a beautiful fall day that couldn't be nicer for the unveiling of the Honorary Street in the name of Big John. And, you know, I know that ever since Barry came back to town, he's been talking with the four of us about working hard to get this done. So we're really glad that we're finally here today and able to put up a street name for one of the most recognizable figures in our community's history, frankly. So we have with us today State Senator Dave Kaler, Representative Jahan Gordon, and our 1st District Councilwoman, Denise Moore. And we're all just going to say a few words, so bear with us, and then we'll do the exciting part, which is to unveil the sign. So we're going to ask Senator Kaler to say a few words first. Senator?
Thank you, Mayor. Just very briefly, I came to Peoria in 1978, and so in doing some research about Peoria, I found that there was two significant things about Peoria. One is that it was the home of world-famous Caterpillar Tractor Company, and secondly, it was the home to the world-famous Big John's Barbecue, right? Those are the two things that stood out. And when I got here and became part of the community, that was just obvious that those two things were just head and shoulders above everything else. But Barry, to you and your family, congratulations. This is part of Peoria's legacy, and we need to honor it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks, sir.
Thanks, Senator. Next, Representative Jahan Gordon Booth.
Nathan?
You know, when I think about Big John's Barbecue, I'm forced to remember my childhood. My grandmother, who used to babysit me often, lived in Landmark Apartments before she moved to B'nai B'rith. And this was where Big John's Barbecue was. And we would walk from Landmark Apartments down to Big John. And I thought that Big John was a celebrity. You know, growing up, he was definitely a celebrity, and I remember thinking, how do my parents know Big John Barbecue? But it was always in the sauce. It was definitely in the sauce, and so that sauce is what, in my opinion, created a legacy that now Barry carries on so feverishly and within our community, and we have to thank God for that legacy, because we know how important it is to continue tradition, to continue legacy, and when I think about, a lot of stories that came out of the 1930s and 1940s, oftentimes folks that lived in places like Mississippi, they came to places like Peoria, Illinois for opportunities. And I think Big John, his legacy is one that shows that you can come from all the way, you can be an orphan in Mississippi, and you can come to a community like ours with dedication, hard work, and a dream, and you can become one of the first black millionaires that Peoria has ever seen. So thank you so much for sharing your father with all of us. We appreciate you so much.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very nicely done.
And now, our 1st District Council member, Denise Moore.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for being here. Isn't this wonderful? This is awesome. We celebrated and lauded Richard Pryor here recently with a statue down in the Warehouse District. And when I came to Peoria, I knew about two things. I knew about Richard Pryor and Big John. Because the person that I married, when he brought me to Peoria, the only place he thought of nice to take me was to Big John's Barbecue. And I looked at him and thought, okay. So I'm so glad you're here today. We're going to be talking about not only just what he did, but the fact that it was unique. What some of you may not know, if you read the press release, you know that he was Peoria's first black millionaire. That is significant. And we don't have enough minority millionaires out there, and we're going to try to change that. And it's pretty soon you'll hear about something that's going to change that Barry is involved with. But the fact that he was Peoria's first black millionaire is significant. And our children need to know that. Children on the south side of Peoria, children in the east bluff of Peoria, children all over Peoria need to know that there was a man here of color who was a millionaire. And so Barry won't let me forget it, although he doesn't have two nickels to rub together, but that's okay. No, he would be the first to tell you that. So, but we love him anyway. I met his brother Doug. Now I see where the good looks in the family come from.
Oh my God.
But in all seriousness though, Barry has been a very good friend to me. He's somebody I can call at the drop of a hat. He's got, and I have, and will continue to do. And we'll leave him places and say, just hang on here, greet anybody that comes, and just tell them you're in charge. And I thank his daughter for being here and loving him the way she does, because she also is an inspiration. He talks about his daughter all the time, and she probably doesn't even realize how much she gets talked about. I feel like I grew up with her. I know about so much about her. But thank you all for being here. This is a wonderful event. This is a wonderful celebration, and we want to have Doug or Barry come up and talk a little bit about your dad.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for coming and being a part of this. This is something I've been working on for a very, very long time. It took me quite a while to pull it together, and I thank all of you for being down here with us and being a part of this. I want to thank all these elected officials, my 4 buddies over here, my mayor, Jimmy Artis, State Senator Dave Kaler, State Representative Jahan Gordon Booth, and 1st District Councilman, my good buddy in the field out here, Denise Moore. I want to thank all my family for being a part of this, but this is not just for my family, this is for Peoria. Dad was a Peoria icon, and it was necessary that we all have a little part in this, okay? Dad was on this corner and right down around the corner on Monson for 43 years. He put his life into his work and his restaurant and his family, okay? So I just want to say thanks to everybody who came out. We're going to unveil this sign. I especially want to thank the people who helped me bring this to fruition. My good friends from the Morton Community Bank, my good friends Angela Henry from the Traveler Weekly, my beautiful daughter Angela Powell from Chicago. I want to thank all my children. I want you guys to always ride by this sign and remember who your grandfather was. When they said he couldn't do it, he did it. They told him, why would you leave a good job at Armour's and start your own restaurant? That ain't gonna work. But it did, and it worked real well. And I want my children and my children's children to be proud of this legacy. I want all the young folks, like Denise said, all the young people in this community to understand that you can still be successful here in Peoria. You can go as far as your wit will take you. There's nothing that can stop you now. So I really want them to quit shooting each other for one thing. But the bottom line is you can still be successful. And on this corner, every time you ride by now, you'll see a man that did it. A man that came from nothing without much education and became Peoria's first black millionaire. I'm proud of my dad, not for the money he made, but for what he put his heart into this business. Okay? I think that's all. Thank you guys so much. Now, let's take this sign down. Or take the thing off the sign.